Welcome to the tight end episode. I know that that's already not exciting a whole lot of people, but stick around and you might be pleasantly surprised. Welcome to Objectively Wrong, presented by the Next Man Up. As always, I'm John. That's a team. Hallelujah, we finally found a position group that doesn't stink.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh my God. What a great group. And we're not even being ironic, guys. This is such a good tight end class. They're fantastic.
I wouldn't be surprised if
there's like 9 good ones. Yeah, there's like 9 good tight ends.
Yeah.
There's like 5 really good tight ends. And among them, we'll talk about that in a second. But among the group, there's like you could tier list them, I guess. But this is kind of like every running back after Bijan, in that you don't really know how to rank them.
Mm-hmm.
We did. I think we've come to terms with a decent ranking. Ebtine and I differ slightly at the top.
But it really doesn't matter.
But it's so razor thin.
Yeah. And
after the top 2, it goes to kind of preference, but there appears to be a consensus 3.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we'll briefly talk about other guys. But a big chunk of this discussion has to go through the top dogs. Now, there's something we're going to bring to the forefront of the conversation today that we said we were going to bring last week. Chris Sims has rankings for this position group. Chris Sims has become the bane of our existence. And for those interested, he has a quarterback ranking out already. We're not going to discuss that on today's show because we're going to save that for our QB's episode. But we looked at it. It appears Chris Sims has listened to our show. It's possible Chris Sims is tired of being roasted over an open flame. Because, I mean, honestly, I was like when you started reading, I was half expecting him to put Duggan on the damn thing.
If he did, by the way, I would spend the entire quarterback episode shitting on Chris.
I know. By the way, for what it's worth, so I don't know if I told you this. So my brother's got a few friends listen to the show,
mm-hmm.
and one of them happens to be a TCU alum.
Okay.
And he listened to the wide receivers episode.
Yeah.
And he agreed with us that Duggan is trash.
Yeah.
But he sent my brother, I guess, a video to send me of Quentin Johnston catching a contested pass.
Okay.
Mike, that's not a contested catch. The ball was caught before contact. There was no one there yet. The ball got there. The safety was slow. A contested catch is a 50-50 ball.
I also promise you we've seen the catch.
We didn't. No, it was the one over the middle in the end zone at Oklahoma State.
Okay.
It was the one you and I were like, that's the closest 1-2-1. It was the closest 1-2-1, but it still wasn't one. Made the catch. It's not, I would call it a catch somewhat in traffic.
By the way, I think we should mention this now because my least favorite wide receiver is getting all the hype right now.
Zay?
Yeah, Zay Flowers apparently is becoming the number 1 wide receiver.
I can't wait to watch you on draft night.
If I draft him, dude, what am I going to
I don't think you're going to.
I know, but I've visited him already.
You could, though.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? You could, and it wouldn't make – it would make a little bit of sense. A wide receiver round 1 for you makes a little sense. Not at 7.
No.
But it does make some sense. Renfro's not a 1. Adams won't be there past this season. Hell, I'm not even sure he's going to get to September. And you'll need someone to catch a damn football from checks notes, nobody. So, you know.
I mean, do I really need another wide receiver when my quarterback's Jimmy Garoppolo? I think I have enough.
You'll need one for the next guy. You build the team before you take the quarterback.
All right. To be quite honest with you, John, there is no light in this tunnel.
There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Always.
By the way, you see Mark Davis?
No.
NFL fans want 67% of NFL fans are telling Mark Davis to sell.
No shit.
There's your light in the tunnel.
Listen, Raider fans, we've said it a million times on this show. Until Mark Davis sells, you're going to be stuck in purgatory at best. At best. There's like 5 owners. I don't know. There's like 5 teams in the league that just if your owner is still there, you're in purgatory. No one's in more purgatory than the Chargers. Like no team in any sport is in more purgatory than the Chargers, except for maybe the Oakland Athletics. Do you know? By the way, you don't know much about baseball.
No. I know enough about the Oakland Athletics. I don't
No,
consider that purgatory.
no, let me explain. No, that's just hell. Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. To give you an idea about how bad it's gotten for the Oakland Athletics, the Oakland. I'm gonna pull up this number and I want to make sure it's right. Oakland Athletics payroll 2023.
Oh, it's probably the lowest, right?
No. It's shocking how low it is.
Okay.
It is absurd how low payroll is. As of January 23, the A's payroll is roughly $38 million. Okay. Now, Justin Verlander is a very high-end pitcher for the New York Mets.
Yeah.
Those that don't know baseball, the New York Mets have a recently anointed owner, Steve Cohen, past couple of years. Guy spends out the ass. So much money. Justin Verlander was just signed there this offseason.
From Houston, right?
He was a Houston Astro, correct?
Astro, yeah.
Now, Justin Verlander, career elite pitcher. He's been great for a very, very long time. 40 years old. So he's like well past his prime. But last year, ERA of 175. That means he gives up less than 2 runs per start, which is absurd. It's incredibly strong. Guess what he's getting paid this year?
I'm going to go with $45 million.
You're close, 43. Justin Verlander is getting paid more than the Athletics. Every time the Athletics develop any player, they trade
send
him.
Yeah.
They trade him immediately. It's pretty fucked up what's happening with the Oakland Athletics.
There's no floor, right, in baseball? No salary cap floor?
There's no cap.
I know there's no cap, but like you think
you don't have to field a team. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You could rip your team blind of every single player making $1 million or more and just drop them all to AAA players and go that route. You can absolutely do that. I'm going to look up, let's pull the Astros real quick, and then we'll talk about football.
Okay.
But I'm going to pull real quick the Houston Astros. The payroll this year is officially 43, which is still below Verlander because he's getting 43.5.
Yeah.
So it's still well below, and it's 17 million below the highest team, the next team, Pittsburgh. The highest team by a staggering margin is the Mets at 336 million. In comparison, the number 2 team, the Yankees, 268. That's how much the Mets are spending. $70 million more than anybody else.
I would expect the Dodgers to have been higher.
This is a kind of a transition year for the Dodgers.
Okay.
They've lost a good amount of players. They've still got 2 very high paid players, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, but they're not like inevitable like they have been in the past 10 years. They lost a lot of gas. They've still got plenty. They'll still be competitive. But like the Yankees, 268, Padres, 236, Phils, 232, Dodgers down to 218. Angels are up to 212. And they were thinking about
good luck with that.
And they were thinking about selling, and then they didn't sell. And Shohei Ohtani is in a contract year. So Shohei Ohtani is going to hit the market next year and get paid a number that we can't even calculate. I don't know what he can get 10 for $800 million because he pitches and hits. So what are you going to do? Pay him $40 million for pitching, $40 million for hitting? Why not? He's great at both. You tell me why not?
Who do you think will pay him?
No fucking clue.
No.
There's like 2 teams. There's like 2. It's Dodgers, Yankees. That's a theory. I mean, as a Phillies fan with an owner willing to spend money, there's no way in hell. Like I know it's not going to happen. Boston is saving money to try to do it. There's no chance. I can't imagine he'd want to leave the West Coast. I can't imagine. I mean, Daddy Steve Cohen for the Mets, he's probably going to take a shot at him.
Daddy Steve Cohen.
Send the payroll up to $500 million for the year. Anyway, that's baseball. The NFL is not evolved enough to evaporate the cap. I'm just kidding. You need a cap. You must have a cap. If you don't have a cap, the Seahawks would have won way more titles. And if Washington were getting Bezos, which it doesn't look like they're going to, they'd be winning even more titles.
Could you imagine a Jeff
Oh,
Bezos led team with no cap?
you know what's funny? I say that, and yet the Mets have been doing that and haven't won jack. There's been 2 years of this, and they haven't even won a playoff series. They just keep flaming out. It's adorable, which is funny. The Mets are the Phillies' like primary rival. It's adorable to watch it happen. But yeah, doesn't matter how much money you spend, you're still not the Yankees. It just doesn't matter. So anyway, let's get back to football.
Tight ends, John.
We have a great position group this week. And for those ready for O linemen, I know I am. I'm almost done. And I say I'm almost done because let's be real, I do the bulk of our O line study. I'm almost done.
That's a Q&A episode.
It's a Q&A episode. We know it's a Q&A episode if team doesn't. I'm more faceted and I'm more seasoned in that realm than Teen is.
Team's over here like,
ooh, fat guys.
I'm waiting for corners.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at like knee angles and impact rate of the hands. Like there's just a lot going on that I'm seeing that, or that I'm looking for that a team's like, why are you looking at this?
Is it better or worse than?
Yes, spoiler alert, Skoronski. So, who happens to be my favorite choice for the Eagles at 10, but I digress. So, let's move on to tight ends, and we're going to talk about a few guys. I want to throw a couple names out there real quick because we're not going to dive into them too deeply. Luke Schoonmaker from Michigan, Cameron Latou, hope I'm pronouncing that right, from Alabama, Josh Wiley from Cincinnati. Yeah. They're also here.
They're all, I mean, like, every single person we're talking about today, I feel like
at least
is going to have a decent NFL career.
Every single tight end. Wow, Chris just texted us that the next episode was uploaded. Like that's coincidental. Okay. That's great timing. The beauty of this tight end crop is that I just named 3 dudes we're not going to deep dive on, and they're still very draftable and very capable prospects.
Yeah, like they're still like what, number 2 tight ends at worst?
2, 3. Yeah. Like there's a player here. There's players. Every single name we say today is a very viable player. And the killer is when I read like, if we talk about like, oh, the general consensus stock is this round or this round. Yeah, we kind of agree. There's 2 dudes. I think you and I agree on this. I don't know for sure, but I think we do. There's 2 dudes that if they went at the first, we wouldn't really bat an eye.
Yeah, late first.
No, I'm not saying take them top 15, but actually I would take one top 15 potentially.
I don't know.
Depending on it purely down to the team and the makeup of what's already gone.
Okay.
It would have to be like the perfect storm.
There's basically our top 2 guys. If they go in the first, we're not angry about it.
No, if you get them in the second, congratulations. That's called value.
That's sick value.
That's honestly called value. You don't get the 5th-year option, but that's sick value.
Yeah.
You probably won't need the option. So yeah, those 3. What's interesting about all 3 of them is production is limited in this class.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I had the notes right here for Schoonmaker in particular. No, was it Wiley? It was Wiley. Wiley had like 100 career catches roughly, but he had 15 career touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. It's not bad at all.
And then like Schoonmaker only really started playing well in his senior year.
Yeah. There's some interesting players where it's just like you don't do anything. You don't see them bust out until this past season.
Mm.
I think, where was Latou? I had the numbers on Latou right there. They are. Latou was entering this year. You were thinking like everybody was thinking, oh my God, he's gonna have this great. He's showing these flashes. He's got great size, great quickness, great athleticism. You got guy 6'4", 240 something, good 9.5-inch hands, runs a 44.7. That's awesome. And then he just didn't do much this past year because 30 catches for 377 and 4 touchdowns. Okay, that's pretty good for a 2. Like really damn good for a 2. It's not a 1. It's not a 1 at all, but it's a 2. Cameron Latou is a two. Like these guys are twos, and these are good twos. These are quality twos. What was it? This is Wiley. Wiley this year was 32 for 326 and three scores.
They're all like very like the potential's there to develop. And that's a thing with most of this class actually. That if you let these guys develop slowly, especially we'll talk about them later. But if you let them develop slowly, you can have maybe an actual number one tight end here.
You could maybe. I would say Shoemaker would be the greatest chance of that happening.
Really?
Just based off of the nature
of those three, maybe.
Yeah, just of those three only, really. But Shoemaker, the way I view it with Shoemaker was stuck behind another tight end, which is not an uncommon trend for another player we're going to discuss tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric All at Michigan was the TE1, and he's entering the prospect discussion next year being one of the higher end tight ends, not the number one tight end next year, who coincidentally we'll be mentioning tonight for some reason. You'll have to wait and see. But again, Walter wrote it, and there were a number of different sources that I saw write it. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's some truth to this. So I actually watched some Eric All tape, okay. Even though he's not in this. I get it. Shoemaker probably would have gotten a lot more looks in another school. Straight up. Probably would have had better luck in another school.
Maybe transfer. Remember that for one guy.
Yeah, but and then we'll argue why that player did not. But because it's hard to pass up those opportunities.
But yeah, of the three, Shoemaker is probably also my favorite. I will say not the best receiver. Like out of all of them that we talked about. He's probably the most raw of the receivers.
Yeah.
But still, number two, wouldn't be angry.
Now let's throw number 6 in there real quick, because I think we only have 6 others who we're going to talk about, because I think we discussed who our 5 were. I think we know who our 5 are.
Yeah.
So who do you have at number 6?
I have Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, the mac and cheese man.
Yeah. And I like Tucker Kraft. I do.
Me too.
Definitely the worst route runner. Like I know I just said Shoemaker's the worst route runner, but like of the those are the tier 3 guys. Now we're on the tier 2 guys.
Now we're in tier 2.
Yeah. Definitely the worst route runner, but also very clearly the best blocker. I think. Sure. Yeah. So can you develop the route running? Probably. Okay. So it's a high upside number 2 tight end right now.
I think I'll just quote something. Not sure what, but I might have. Golly, that's not a good sound. Anyway.
So do you agree Kraft is a high-end number 2 with potential?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Not second round, mind you.
Oh, no.
I see a day 3 pick in Kraft's future.
I would love to have Kraft in a day 3 pick.
Yeah, I see a day 3 pick. I see a 4 or a 5 in Kraft's future. Not to say that he is not a third-round player.
Mm-hmm.
But, eventually you have to consider, okay, is this tight end really vital to me? In today's NFL, you need a tight end that can do both, but you need a tight end first that can catch the damn ball. And if the thing you're better at is the blocking, you're probably not going to get drafted as highly. Because you can teach blocking, it's tougher to teach a great receiver, a great route runner, a great this, great that. So there's just more tools that you need to learn at the next level on the job to become a good receiving tight end.
These are tight ends, so I feel like we should definitely tell the height and weight.
Absolutely.
Kraft is.
But what's funny about this crop of tight ends is you're going to hear the words 6'4", 6'5", and 6'6" a lot, except for one guy, and you're going to hear 250 or bigger for all the guys. They're all pretty well sized.
So Kraft is 6'5", 254. He ran a 4.69 40. Yeah. I mean, high end number 2.
You're also going to hear that too. A 40 sub 4.7, but over 4.6, except for one guy.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say. Great player. I'm happy with him.
Perfectly fine player. Perfectly fine player. If you take him, you shouldn't be unhappy about it.
You know who might take him? End of 3.
Oh.
We just traded Darren Waller for a comp 3, didn't we?
You know what's funny is the Eagles need a tight end too.
Yeah.
The the Raiders need a tight end, insert any percentage here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking one. I mean, let's be real. You're taking one of these guys.
And I'm happy.
Yeah, the question is which one. So it's about the right fit. Now, you know what's funny? We've in totality, when the episode's done, we'll have talked about 9 guys. There's one I don't think you should take.
Okay.
And you know who it is.
Okay.
Because I really don't think you should take him.
Okay.
At all. And when we discuss him, I will mention it, which should tell you that it's none of the 4 we just discussed.
Let's move on to number 5.
Let's go to our top 5. And this top 5 is odd. Unless you look at Chris Sims' top 5. Let's read off Chris Sims' top 5 real.
All right. You want me to go bottom up or up down? It's the whole weirdest way possible.
Up, down.
Up, down.
Go
Okay.
the top.
Chris Sims' number 1 tight end is Dalton Kincaid.
Interesting.
Chris Sims' number 2 tight end, Sam Laporta.
Not a consensus pick.
No, not at all. Michael Mayer is 3rd out of Notre Dame.
Intriguing.
Josh Weil is 4th.
Very intriguing prospect.
And Darnell Washington is 5th.
Okay. So we already talked about Josh Weil.
Yeah. We do not agree.
And we liked Shoemaker more.
Yeah.
Chris Sims maybe didn't learn his lesson. Might have learned it on quarterbacks only. Who's our number 5 team?
Sam Laporta.
Yeah. So
I like him.
Sam Laporta is the only tight end to do any of the 3 things I'm about to say. He is the only tight end under 6'4" at 6'3". He is the only top 5 tight end under 250 pounds. He's 245. He's also the only tight end we're discussing tonight to run a 40 sub 4.6. He run. He fast. 4.59. Now, again, 4.59, 4.6. It's the same number. It's not, though. It's not, though. And when you watch his tape, he plays at that speed.
Yeah.
He moves. He knows how to move. Here's the problem. Well, actually, let's not go into problems yet because I got more good things to say about him, I guess.
Okay.
Production. I like seeing production out of a receiver. 650 yards each of the last 2 seasons, 53-plus catches each of the last 2 seasons. He had the ball in his hands. He was looked at. He was targeted. It's just, he was a pick. Now, what I've heard, what I'm hearing from certain bits of reporting is he potentially could be a sleeper in the 2nd round.
I mean, to be quite honest, I wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this, guys. These 5 players in our top 5, any of them could be 2nd round picks. Any of them. But there are little bits and pieces that make certain players a little better than the others.
Mm-hmm.
And for what it's worth, our top 3 has been locked in for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And after reviewing all the tape, it didn't change. It didn't change a little. The only discussion was kind of at the top. But Laporta, he runs well. He runs well. Let's get some notes. Lots of targets, high volume. But not the best blocker because he's small. And naturally, it's small, lowers your catch radius. Now, what's funny is for a dude at 6'3" at that size, the catch radius was still more than you'd think it would be. And like I compare it to some of the other guys in this class's catch radius, and he's shorter. I don't know. I don't hate this player. The problem I have with this player is this a tight end or is this just a big receiver?
Yeah.
And right now it looks like it's a big receiver. It's the better thing to know how to do today, but you are going to need to learn how to block a little more.
I don't have that fear, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
Like you said, you can teach blocking.
You can.
You have a number 2 tight end out of the gate. Like, you don't even have to project this.
Yep.
You have a receiving threat. Yards after the catch, he was great.
Very good.
Like, I mean, he was better than some of the wide receivers we looked at,
Yep.
to be quite honest.
Looking at you, Zay.
No, I like the player. If you're in the 2nd round and you take him, I'm for it. I'm actually a little bit more for it than some of the other guys because I think there's one guy in this draft that's very high risk, high reward. And
I think it's the player that I'm thinking the Raiders shouldn't take.
yeah. I just I love receiving tight ends, man. I don't know why. And this wide receiver class was so depressing that it just makes this tight end class so.
You know what's funny? I feel like we keep
better.
saying that. It's not that the receiver class was depressing. It's just that it is what it is.
I'm depressed with it.
It's one note. It feels one note. They are what they are, and they're nothing more than that.
Okay, but look at the wide receiver drafts in recent years.
Those have been absurd.
Insane.
Yeah, but we've had like 3 straight fucking nuts receiving drafts.
And we're gonna have them again next year.
We're gonna have a good one next year.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a good one.
What the hell are we doing this year?
If Marvin Harrison Jr. can stay healthy, next year's class is gonna be wild.
If Marvin Harrison Jr. can stay healthy,
he'll go number 1.
We're gonna move up into the top.
Yeah, he'll go number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll beat Caleb.
He won't go number 1, but
no, Caleb Williams would have to have a very bad injury or a bad season to not go number 1 next year.
And even then, Drake May might go 1 still.
Mays? We watched the North Carolina tape already, and
I liked it.
My mind is changing on Drake May. I don't like it. I don't like that my mind is changing.
You don't like that you're learning.
I like being right at the outset. But no, Drake May is.
Yeah, man, I like being right at the outset. Looks at Josh Rosen in the corner.
No, you could not have been more wrong.
You know what the problem with that? I watched that like his best game of his career. What was that? Texas
A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M. What
a fucking insane game.
Oh my god.
Fucking unbelievable football game.
Yeah.
That put him on my map. I was like, ooh, this is something. Then I watched the next week. I'm like, all right. Well, you are what you are. I guess. Yeah. Do you see the Bidwell, the Cardinals owners, like getting accused of some shit?
Dude,
like, straight up accused of cheating.
We can wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. The Cardinals are a shitstorm.
Who would have thought Cliff Kingsbury
was the normal one?
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury was the one that wasn't a. You know what's funny? We've kind of like quietly crapped on the Cardinals for a few years for like their underdoings of these like front office ownership and GM whatever.
Yeah,
I'm and Bidwell. We've been like, yeah, there's something funky there. There's something funky there. They're just straight up cheating. All right, well, I guess that's
okay. But like, if you were actually cheating, explain your past seasons, man.
Who knows? Yeah. Yeah, we were getting a competitive edge. Where? Where? Show it to me. Show me the edge. Anyway, was it the fleecing of Bill O'Brien? Because I got to be honest, I don't think that was cheating. I think he's just that dumb. The messiah of the trade, Bill O'Brien.
DeAndre Hopkins is probably moving this offseason. And
I keep hearing that. He hasn't.
I expect him to move with pick 3.
But there's no sound at all. Like, there's nothing happening. Like, give me some information, please.
Also, remember when Austin Eckler declared a trade?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
Now he's just like, I'm going to go to free agency.
You know what's funny? Do you remember that he's a running back? And has, like, no value inherently?
I really wanted to title the episode.
You need to learn.
I wanted to title the episode the
running backs aren't people. No, don't.
It's not. It's not.
I have all the respect in the world for running backs. I just don't respect paying them that much money. It just shouldn't. Like, there's just so. Not even that. Pay them money, of course, commensurate with their value to the football team. If Austin Eckler's really worth that much to you, okay, you built your team wrong.
Did you forget this is a Titan episode?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go to number 4.
Luke Musgrave. 6'6", 253.
Big man.
4'6", 40.
Big man. Big man moving fast.
I actually I kind of like Musgrave a little bit more than I expected. Now, this is the guy that had a bad knee injury in 2022. Only played 2 games.
What the hell just happened? Okay. He was going to have a big year.
Yeah.
He was due for a big one.
And you can kind of see it, right, in those 2 games.
Yeah, to open up with 11 for 169. The guy was averaging like, I'm terrible at math. The guy was averaging like 85 out of the blocks 85 a game, 5.5 receptions. That would have been a sick clip to see him put together all season. Didn't happen. Fucked up the knee, and here we are. And, it's not his fault. It happens. But in totality, he's got less than 50 catches to his name in a 4-year career.
Mm-hmm.
COVID shortened 2020 year. Last year, played 13 games, caught only 22 balls. That's a low clip. The guy caught half of his previous season's total in 11 less games. He was due. He was going to have a hell of a year. And he got robbed of it. And it might have put him in the top 3. Honestly, it might have.
Oh, it probably would have.
It might have. The problem I had when I watched Musgrave is that I watched Musgrave after I watched what is viewed by many as the consensus top 3. And outside of number 3, I knew he wasn't beating 1 or 2.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Like, it became very clear watching his tape. As good as he is, and he is, there wasn't enough there to make the push to number 1 or 2. Running a 4.61, you can look at his previous experience as a multi-sport athlete. I got here that he was a skier, which is awesome, helps you get low. But to me, he feels like the clear tight end 3 or 4, but 3 at the ceiling. And the reason is because 1 and 2 just appear to be that much better.
Now, Musgrave is the nephew of a coach.
Bill Musgrave.
Bill's
still active.
Yeah, he's currently on the Cleveland Browns.
There you go.
I kind of expect this guy to drop a little bit because of that injury.
Oh, yeah.
But I still feel like 3rd round. I feel really strongly about it, actually.
I see a 2 or a 3 out of him, too. The injury may knock him to 3. But what's funny about Luke Musgrave is I had him as the best blocker of the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty clearly in my eyes. And what I also noticed is he doesn't get jammed much at the line. But when he does, he can get pushed off his route, which is weird for a guy as big as he is. I can see him anywhere in 2 and 3, truly. I will say, though, of the top 4, he, in my opinion, is the second most likely to go missing. As in, a couple years from now, we look back and think, oh, crap, he could have been something and just it didn't work out.
So you're worried about team fit with him?
I am. I think there's a really great player here. I really do. But no player, in my opinion, unless you're truly blue chip, can transcend team fit. And I don't see him as blue chip enough to transcend team fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a trend I'll follow into the next guy. But the next guy has other issues. You know what's funny is the more I'm going to talk about the guy at 3, it's going to sound like I have Musgrave at 3. The more I'm thinking about it. And honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, I may actually have Musgrave at 3.
Right now, Musgrave's a better player.
It's weird to me how close 3 and 4 are and how separate from 1 and 2 they are. Yeah.
Right
and
now,
how close 1 and 2 are.
Right now, Musgrave's a better player. I think
agree.
It's obvious to see. But Darnell Washington, who is our number 3.
For now.
We've been beating around the bush the entire episode.
For those that remember last year, though, Jalen Weidermeyer was our 2. So
yeah. Yeah, but to be honest,
if we waited 4 days later, he would have been not on the list. But
yeah, but also, like in our hearts, Isaiah Likely was number 2.
In our hearts, Isaiah. Oh man, I loved Isaiah Likely's tape. That was amazing. I remember watching with whoa, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he went to Baltimore, huh?
Yeah. And still looked great. Can't imagine what he's going to look like when he has a quarterback.
Darnell Washington.
Or Baltimore tries to find one.
Is 6'7", 264, 4.64 40, and he is the ultimate boomer bust player in this draft.
So let me just I'm going to jump in here with the unteachable discussion.
Okay.
6'7". That's stupid.
Yeah.
265 at 6'7". That's ridiculously stupid. Running a 4.64 at that size. Christ. And then also benching 21. This man should not be in the NFL. He should be in the Olympics doing something. Now, here's where it gets bad.
Okay. And
I think he's more balanced than the guy I have at number one.
oh no, this guy has the potential to be the best tight end.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
45 career catches.
Yeah, who was he behind? Probably the best tight end.
Yeah, so he's behind Brock Bowers. And that's that. Brock Bowers is ridiculous because when Tina and I were casually looking at Stetson Bennett during the season, we're like, who the fuck is it? Brock Bowers? What? Every time we watched him, it was like what happened when we saw Kyle Pitts play with Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
It felt the same. Bowers, is, barring anything crazy, is going to go number one next year.
Yeah. Number one.
Not number one, not first round. First round.
No, Marvin Harrison will be the number one player next year.
So when you're stuck behind a guy like Bowers, you have to wonder, well, why don't you transfer? And that was a team's question, was why didn't Washington go anywhere?
No, I mean, I think if the fact that he didn't transfer is like career suicide over here.
The problem is it's really tough to transfer for a winning team.
No.
It's so hard.
No. You can't tell me if he called up Bama, they would have said goodbye lot too.
No, I'm not saying he wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's tough for him mentally to be like, I'm going to leave the best team in the country. Georgia was clearly the best. I don't care that they weren't preseason number one. It was stupid. I don't care that Tennessee was the one.
I'm going to leave a guaranteed national title.
I'm going to leave a very realistic shot at a natty.
Yeah.
For what?
A repeat.
A very likely repeat for what? To get maybe 30 more balls thrown at me that I may only catch 10 to 15 of. It wasn't important enough. He wasn't going to be able to go somewhere and be the number one target. And Brock Bowers was blocking him. It was just a victim of circumstance. I didn't see him run a whole lot of routes across the middle. A few.
Oh no, yeah.
He plays a little high. He's 6'7".
6'7".
But it's not high enough to be a major problem. He's going to go in the second on his unteachables alone.
And it's not even like doesn't have talent. He's a good receiver.
No, if his unteachables weren't even there, if he was like a normal human being,
still be a third, fourth rounder.
He'd probably be a third round pick. Probably a mid to high.
With that production, I don't see it as a third round pick.
Probably mid round. I probably have him mid round. The production was tough. It is. 45 career catches is just so especially low.
Okay.
Not a high target share. He
Well,
can block.
Last year, 28 receptions for 454 yards. That's a good clip.
It's not bad. It's good average. Really good
16.2 average. Only 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which I think is a little ridiculous when you have a 6'7" man in the red zone.
You got to feed him more in the red zone.
Yeah. So actually, how many touchdowns did Bowers have this year?
I'm going to look at Brock Bowers. I mean, did it even matter? Georgia's defense was stupid. But
I want to see if Bowers just
By the way, Bowers is 6'4", 230, which is pretty damn prototypical at this current level of the NFL. 63 catches for 942 and 7 scores.
Okay.
Considering the fact that last year, 56 for 882. This guy's a monster.
Yeah.
He's actually sick. And by the way, last year, 13 touchdowns. There's your target share. Touchdowns? 13 touchdowns and 21. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Back to Darnell Washington, the one that matters right now.
Today.
Yeah. Great blocker. Honestly, not that bad yards after the catch. He has pretty good balance for his size.
Yeah.
I like the guy.
By the way, for what it's worth, Eric Gilbert, the other tight end at Georgia, the third one, he is transferring.
Good for you.
Get out from behind that man.
Yeah.
Because he's blocking you straight up. Get out.
Now, the negatives are basically, they're kind of tied to the fact that he just doesn't have enough snaps. He's not that great of a route runner. He doesn't run the routes that often, guys.
No.
He's not that great of a contested catch guy. Well, how many balls are actually thrown to him?
Not enough.
So I see this as I don't want to say a stash and develop type guy because I think you can use him very easily in the.
But he's
his
probably
first-
not a day. But he's probably not a day one every snap TE one.
Oh, he's not. No, he's not.
right.
But
He's gonna take some cooking.
tight ends always take cooking in the NFL. They always take time. The ceiling with this guy is
Stupid.
so stupid.
Stupid.
It's the best tight end in the class.
The ceiling on him is probably over. Listen, I really like our one. I do. When I watch, and I know you do too. When we look at the tape on the one, it's like, oh, all right, this is pretty wild. But the ceiling of this guy, based on the unteachables, is ridiculous. The question is, does he get there?
Mhm.
It's always the question. The draft is all about potential.
Is this your don't draft him Raiders guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Raiders should not take this player at all. The
They're
Raiders should not take this
they're
player.
so gonna take this
He
player.
screams Raiders, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like this is the one I want to pick for you, not in the first.
Oh, of course not.
But this is a guy I think you're taking.
This is a guy I could see us taking in the second.
I could too.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's going in the second. I'm fairly confident he is.
See, I don't think we're seeing two tight ends in the first round. I don't. I'm not even sure we're seeing.
I think we could. I don't think we will, but I think we could.
I'm not even sure we're seeing one. I'm not sure.
You know what's funny?
I got to see the defense in this class.
I think if only one goes in the first round, I think it's our two.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. But if both do, it would be 1 and 2. If two TEs go in the first round and it's not our 1 and 2, I don't know what the fuck happened.
I traded back.
Yeah, something went wrong.
I traded back and
You traded into the late 20s and took Washington anyway.
They were like, he needs to develop, so we need the 5th-year option. All right, let's talk about her too.
It's actually not the dumbest. By the way, it's not the dumbest reason to take him
No,
in
shut
the
up.
first. I'm just saying. You should not be taking him.
Let's talk about R2 because he's my one.
Yeah, so here's the interesting thing with Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. By the way, we should have been, Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. By the way, this should telegraph that Dalton Kincaid is our one.
Yeah.
This should by the way, it was also Chris Sims' one, as you heard. Dalton Kincaid is our clear one. Well,
No, he's not our clear one.
And Teen doesn't agree.
I also don't have any desire to. It's incredibly close.
This is razor thin. These two players are razor thin.
Yeah, to me, it's 1A, 1B.
I'm not there.
You're
I'm not there because of that one problem.
I think you're not there because of Notre Dame.
No, I don't like Notre Dame at all. I've made no secret of that. But if you recall, my favorite O-lineman prospect we've ever done, was a Notre Dame guy.
Okay,
it's not. I can deviate from this. Quentin Nelson is Jesus, but
not last year.
No, I don't know what happened.
How much of that's really his fault?
He's making me look probably none, but he's making me look bad. Anyway, when I look at Michael Mayer, I see a vastly more complete tight end than Dalton Kincaid. 6'4.5", close to 250. He blocks very well. He catches very well. His routes are very good. He runs quickly out of his routes. He runs a 4.7. Lance Zierlein comped him to Jason fucking Witten, which
I see.
I see the body type. I don't really get. He seems more athletic than Witten.
I see a guy that I see twice a year, and it's pissing me off. I see Kelsey. I really do see Kelsey.
Listen, I don't even think it's. I almost feel like it's sacrilege.
No, I mean, like, Kelsey's a Hall of Famer. Kelsey's a Hall of Famer. And fuck that, by the way. Kelsey's a Hall of Famer. But I really do see parts of Travis Kelsey in this player. And it's not just the fact that I think he's a colossal dick. I think Michael Mayer's such a dick.
Mayer, I've been reading online, a lot of people call him Baby Gronk. Kind of like what they did with Hawk. And I got to be honest, I think I liked Hawk more than I like Mayer now.
I did not.
I know you didn't.
Yeah.
I know you didn't. I was definitely higher. I was a 5th overall on Hawk. I thought that was stupid, but I did like Hawk. And obviously Detroit didn't like him enough to keep him, which is still a strange trade to me. But they still want to pay him, I guess. And
I mean,
now
fair. Honestly, fair.
what's funny, he's probably going to hit the trade market again
Oh yeah.
and may end up in free agency.
I
And
yeah.
Gesicki just got 9 from New England. What the fuck is Hawk going to get?
To be quite frank, I look at Gesicki and Hawk, and it doesn't move the needle to me.
Hawk's better than Gesicki.
I know he's
There's
better.
no doubt. There's no
It
doubt
just
about
it doesn't move the needle to me.
Hawk's like a hot. There's like a top 6 right now in
I
the
don't
league.
see him in it.
He's 6.
I don't like if he's 6, then I gotta be honest. I think I just drafted tight end.
Oh, I would draft in this class for
Yeah.
sure. If you have any question at tight end this year, if you're a team with a question mark at tight end, take one.
Mhm.
Take one of these because there are 9. There's like 8.5. I don't think Cameron Latou is a starter, but there are 8.5 potential starters in this tight end class. Take one. Take one. If you're wrong, who gives a shit? You were probably wrong in the 4th round.
Yeah,
Take one.
if you're wrong, who gives a shit? You have a good backup tight end.
Right. Take one. The only potential bust I see is Darnell.
Oh yeah.
It's just because the ceiling is sick. I see a bust. There could be a bust there. There's no question about it.
But,
I don't see Kincaid and Mayer busting.
but John, if I drafted Darnell Washington, my current
That's
tight
a bust.
my current tight ends are OJ Howard.
Go
and
elsewhere. Pick someone cleaner.
What's
Take
that
Mayer.
name to Falcon tight end that I got? I forgot his name.
You should take Mayer, honestly.
I'm not against it.
Mayer would be the better pick for the Raiders. Honestly. He's an offense.
Austin Hooper. That was the other one.
Hooper's fine. Just he never really materialized into what he should have been. When he went to Cleveland, it was a mess. Did he stop up for a cup of coffee at Tennessee too?
Yeah, he
or
did.
something. Yeah. I think Mayer fits a team like the Raiders better because he's more of a like. He to me feels like the safer pick in comparison to Kincaid.
Mm-hmm.
In that I think Mayer is way more balanced. He's a way better blocker than Kincaid is. Kincaid is a receiver and a damn good one. Like ridiculously good. His pro comp to Zach Ertz is not wrong.
Now, what's the
A
problem
little.
with Mayer? Because you have a big problem with him.
Yeah, I have 2. My biggest problem with Mayer is something he does when blocking. I've noticed perhaps it's delay by design, in which case scratch this entire point. But it appears as if he gets out of his 3-point stance at a glacial pace.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
weird how slow it is. It's so slow. Are you not hearing the snap count? Because on offense, here's the key to all those that didn't play football that don't know the difference. When you're on defense, you're looking at the ball. Snap. You're not listening. You don't pay attention to what words being said. You don't listen to the words because they can fake you out with false counts, all this cadence bullshit. If you're looking at the ball, when the ball moves, you move. On offense, you are listening. That's the point. You are listening. And he's just not hearing it. He's just not hearing it. And that's not good. That's not good. Is there a problem? Like, is he just not? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to make of Mayer. I screwed his name. It's Mayer.
It's Michael.
It's Michael Mayer, which, by the way, great name for a football player. But he's a good blocker. He just isn't.
Could be better. That's the thing.
He's just not getting out of the break. Yeah. I just realized he and I share a birthday. He's not getting out of his break fast enough. He doesn't get out of his stance nearly fast enough. Production off the charts. 42 catches in 2020, 71 in 21, 67 in 22, 450 yards, then 840, 809, and touchdowns 2, 7, and 9. He gets progressively better. Broke the Notre Dame all-time receptions leader at tight end. Broke that record. He's the all-time receiving tight end for Notre Dame. The guy whose record he broke, Tyler Eifert, a bust. So I'm worried about. I think it's unfair to call Eifert a bust. Eifert's problems were injury, so it's not really fair to do. But by the way, for those that don't remember, Eifert and Ertz were 1-2 that year too. It's so bizarre. Sometimes we get these drafts where there are 2 tight ends and you just can't fucking decide. Ertz and Eifert. Mayer and Kincaid, Gesicki and Goddard. It's awesome when this happens because you get to watch great tape, but then you pull your hair out trying to decide which one you like more. They're both great. That problem. Mayer, stand the fuck up. Like, seriously, you gotta get up. You gotta move. Are you not hearing it? Do you not know the snap count? I don't know the problem. He's gotta get up. He just has to get up.
All right, let's talk about Dalton Kincaid.
Go ahead.
The number one tight end in this class is 6'4", 246.
He is.
With an unofficial 40 of, I believe he saw 4.7.
I did see a 4.7. Yeah, he did not run at the combine.
Now,
which could have helped him. He's projected in the 4.7 to 4.72 range. It would have helped. I think he was dealing with an injury. I don't remember exactly, but it'd be nice to see a run.
Now, here's my problem with Kincaid. And it's I'm pulling hairs here. This is like
you're splitting them. Yep.
Yeah. Pac-12.
Small fracture in his back. That's why he didn't run.
Yeah. Okay, that makes
small.
sense.
It's not major, but it's there.
Pac-12, and he's a little light.
A little bit.
So he's a good enough blocker for Pac-12. What about for the NFL?
Ertz. Stanford. Undersized. Can't block. Runs. There's a reason why it's the comp. It's because it's dead on. You're drafting mini Ertz. That's what you're doing. And Ertz was a second-round pick. Ertz developed into one of the top 5 tight ends in football for a period of time. Broke the single-season reception record for a tight end. Yeah, I'm sorry. I like him. There's nothing to not like about him. Now,
he's a sick receiving threat.
Oh, he's absolutely bananas receiving the football. He does need to learn how to block a little bit more, as did Ertz. And I can tell you, as an Eagle fan that has watched every Zach Ertz game until he was traded to Arizona, I can tell you, Zach Ertz never learned how to do it, and he was still fine. And he never learned how to do it. He never learned how to do it a little. He was okay, but for those that recognize, team, you're a football fan. You know enough about these players. Zach Ertz. Fast tight end.
It's good.
He's fast, right?
He went to Arizona. It was a weird trade.
Zach Ertz, fast tight end.
Yeah.
4.76 on the 40. By the way, his pro comp back in the day was Jason Witten, which is Mayer's comp.
Yeah.
And Kincaid's comp is Ertz.
You want to know something funny?
Huh.
I did a little looking across the internet. Bleacher Report's comp for Mayer is Tyler Eifert.
I mean, here's the reality. These tight ends, this is an incestuous position. It's insane. I love this position, but when you're dealing with players that are this good, see, I'm going to read Ertz player by. Well, he's number 2 in the team ranks for most. And surprisingly, some teams grade him higher than Notre Dame's Tyler Eifert, as he has a better tight end prospect than Kobe Fleener a year ago. Yeah, no shit, he was a better prospect than Kobe Fleener.
And you want to know who Bleacher Report has Kincaid as?
Who?
Dennis Pitta. Remember Dennis Pitta?
I do.
He was good. Then he got hurt a lot.
He was good. He was actually really good.
Yeah, he got hurt a lot.
Pitta was really good for half a decade.
Yeah.
Quietly. He was quietly the 7th best tight end for a
Baltimore
long time.
knows their tight end.
Yeah, they went from Todd Heap to Pitta.
Then
there was probably somebody else that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, before Andrews. And then now Isaiah Likely.
They doubled up in that Andrews draft. Remember that? It was him and Hayden Hurst that took Hurst in the first. But Hayden Hurst in the first round pick, you and I were like, why? This doesn't make. He's 27. What are you doing? I think he's 26.
Well, it wasn't a bad tight end, to be frank.
He was fine. Listen, I have a lot of good things about Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst is an all-time good dude. Yeah. Just a good guy who's done a lot of things for mental health. I appreciate Hayden Hurst the person. On the field, he's fine. But it's just not. He's never shown first-round tight end talent, whereas Mark Andrews was, a 4th-round pick?
Yeah.
And Isaiah Likely was, another day 2 or 3 pick? Come on.
Remember when we started watching the tape and everyone's like, Isaiah Likely is a 7th-round pick? And
we were like, no, he isn't.
No.
It's this man is a 4. Do you not see how fast he's running? For those that don't remember, I think Isaiah Likely ran like a 4.5. Like it was stupid what he ran.
Okay,
Isaiah, no, he actually ran. No, Likely ran a 4.8, but he played fast as shit. That's what it was.
yeah,
He ran a horrible workout, but his play speed was like, how'd you just break off a 90-yard?
I remember that play.
Like how that even? He just left everybody in the dump. I'm like, what? How would you do that?
So, if you were taking a tight end in the first round,
Kincaid,
you would take Kincaid.
easy, easy. Exceptionally athletic. I'm a sucker for former basketball players that converted to tight end, which Kincaid is one of.
You know, so is everybody.
Yes, it's becoming more. Listen, Mo Alley Cox made a career out of this shit.
Yeah,
I can't believe Mo Alley Cox is still in football, but he is. Guy went from VCU, I think, playing basketball and turned into a serviceable NFL tight end out of fucking nowhere. And Kincaid turned into a tight end. His production this past year for Mr. Kincaid was 70 catches at 890 for 8 touchdowns. 8.
Good.
He's undersized. He needs to be better as a blocker, but he's stupid quick, elite route runner with elite hands, elite total athleticism. This is a second round pick at least. At least.
Worse. Who's at the top of the second round?
Huh?
Who's in the top of the second round?
I mean, probably Houston again. Or Chicago with all of Carolina's picks.
But they've already drafted so many tight ends. Remember Chicago?
Cole Kmet?
Yeah, remember Cole Kmet?
Cole Kmet was, what was he, like a second round pick?
I think so.
I remember you and I not caring. By the way, also Notre Dame. The Notre Dame tight end hour tonight.
You know what's funny?
Huh.
New Orleans has pick 29 from San Francisco. And you know who loves tight ends? Loves tight ends?
Dennis Allen.
No, Derek Carr.
Yeah, they tried to add Fabian Moreau. By the way, we should mention that. Fabian Moreau, this is not the first time this has happened.
We mentioned it last week.
Did we? I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I want to make sure that we covered that. Okay. Yeah, Fabian Moreau is cancer.
But the prognosis is good.
Thank God.
He's expected to return to playing football after the season.
Which is absurd.
Yeah. And he had a physical with the Saints, then he had a physical with the Raiders, and now he has a physical with the Saints again. So I'm guessing like they're both basically like, listen, just pick one of us, we'll give you the medical insurance you need.
Yeah.
I expect him to be signed by the Saints because I think the fit's really good there. I really do.
One way or another, it will be covered. I assure you.
Oh yeah, he's going to get a contract. Yeah. He's going to go on the what is it called, the NFL I or like
NFLI?
Yeah, NFLI
or the NFI.
The NFI. He's going to get treated, and the prognosis is good, so he'll probably be back next year.
Yep.
And whoever signs him has a really good number 2 tight end.
Yeah. If you pray for him.
Yeah.
Seriously. Killer. That's just awesome.
Other teams that need tight ends who are also picking late. Jacksonville's pick 24. Do they need a tight end?
Ingram.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Such a weird fucking player.
Yeah. Cincinnati needs a tight end.
Depending on the week, he's top 3 or like 70th. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so weird. Who's next?
Cincinnati's at 28. They could
could do it.
Oh, they could totally do it.
They could totally do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing a lot of research.
But you know what? You know what the Bengals should do?
What?
Not Kincaid. They should do Meyer.
Yeah.
Or Mayer. That Mayer fits it. Listen, Kincaid would be good anywhere. I'm not going to. Mayer and Kincaid both, if you draft them, while it might not be the better option for you, take them. Fuck it. Like, they're both great. But Mayer. Golly, they need to protect the boy even more. I know you just signed Orlando, and that's awesome. More. Kylo Ren me more.
Dallas is at 26. They love having tight ends.
Dallas?
Yeah.
Didn't they lose Schultz?
They did it, didn't they?
Yeah, they need a tight end.
Buffalo.
Knox.
Yeah, but these guys are better.
How good is Dawson Knox?
Dawson Knox Okay, let me explain to you what Dawson Knox
I think Buffalo's got two of the most overrated receivers in the world. Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox.
Let me explain to you what Dawson Knox is. Dawson Knox is the player that you're doing fantasy football, okay? You're in the draft, and you didn't take a tight end early. And he's a player they're like, oh, Josh Allen's his quarterback. He's pretty good. I've had him as my backup tight end. He's the guy you convince can play tight end for you.
I'm John, and I drafted Dawson Knox this year.
I'm Upteen, and I also drafted Dawson
Twice.
Yes. I'm Upteen, and I drafted Dawson Knox 2 years ago, and John took him from me.
I'm John, and I also drafted Kyle Pitts this past year. Ask me if I won. The answer actually is yes. The answer is actually still yes. I had Mahomes. Deal with it. It's also a keeper league. I drafted like all rookie. Like you did it with me. It's like I'm drafting everybody that's like everybody I'm drafting is under the age of 23. I have Chris Olave and like 6 other receivers that are all like second years.
We put a lot of like, go get Olave, go get Olave, go.
Oh no, we made sure when I was doing like it's a keeper, Olave. Eventually the Saints will have money to spend. Not yet.
No.
Soon.
Maybe for his second contract.
At this point, I don't think they're going to have it by the time he's 35. I'm not convinced Olave is a career Saint, but not because of him, but because of the financial management of the Saints. How can the Saints afford a first-round pick?
I don't know.
How do you do this? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Dalton Kincaid. What other notes did I have on Kincaid? Catch radius is sick. He's a receiver. I've got his ceiling at like 25.
You have a ceiling?
Like 25.
Okay. I'm looking at the pick order right now. Okay.
Who's outside the top 20 that could realistically do it?
Green Bay.
True, actually.
Hey Rodgers, you want that pass catcher, that receiver?
Mayer fits them too.
Yeah, he does.
Mayer fits them better.
The Jets. Who do the Jets have at tight end?
Uzama, I think.
So they don't have anybody at tight end.
Yo, actually, Mayer to Green Bay makes a shitload of sense.
Yeah, Green Bay's pick 15.
That's too early. You know what? It's not too early, damn it. This is such a weird year. And these are really elite tight ends. Like, these are elite tight ends. These are good. These are very good high-end tight
prospects.
ends.
Very elite prospects.
These are better honestly, I think these are better tight ends than Bijan is a running back. Honestly. That's the way these guys are sick.
Detroit's at 18. They need a tight end.
They do.
Tampa Bay's at 19. Seattle's at 20.
There's no way Seattle's doing it. So Seattle doesn't make any fucking sense. So there's no way. I mean, what do they get? We know they're not taking anyone we think they're going to take.
So they're taking a quarterback. Is what you're telling me?
Yeah, they're going to take somebody that they're going to take L.J. Collier. Like they're going to take
Will
Rashad
Levis
Penny
is a Seattle Seahawk.
Go true. No, I just don't see. Predicting Seattle is like predicting the weather 2 years from now.
Unironically, though, I am looking forward to one guy's tape. By the way, tight ends are done.
Yeah, we're done with tight ends.
When we talk about quarterbacks, there was a kid that I had my eye on like years ago.
Is the UCLA kid?
Yeah, the UCLA kid. Dorian Thompson?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We have done quarterbacks.
Dorian Thompson Robinson. I am looking forward to his tape. And I'm looking forward to once again being hurt by a UCLA quarterback.
I am making it my mission.
Okay.
To exit our quarterback film, having convinced you that there is at least something there with Richardson.
I mean, he's my third quarterback. I don't know.
He fucking isn't.
Dude, would you ever realistically,
you personally, would you ever actually draft Anthony Richardson?
I have not watched the tape. As it is right now, I have not watched the tape.
Would you have ever taken Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I was really high.
All right, well then never mind. This is gonna be very easy.
I was really high. Do you not remember? Like I was like Lamar Jackson is the highest ceiling out of all of these guys.
No, you weren't alone in that. Everybody fucking knew that.
I know, but like I was high.
Everybody thought he probably shouldn't have come out as a sophomore, and also watched him plummet, and then saw Baltimore take him and think, huh, all right. Meanwhile, I was just counting the draft picks that I was just given because the Ravens traded with me to get him. So, yeah. And that draft pick ended up, in a weird way, becoming Devontae Smith. Thanks, Baltimore. Appreciate you. So that's tight ends. Our next episode is going to be offensive line. And then it's a Q&A episode if team doesn't know anything. So we're going to be moving on to the defense after that, and then we will circle back for quarterbacks.
Looking forward to the corners and safeties this year.
Corners is going to be a fun episode.
Yeah.
There's some quarterback. I mean, the top two were pretty consensus.
Mm-hmm. But they've been consensus before. And Derek Stingley still was taken before.
You know what's funny? I see them taken like almost back to back, though, in a lot of mocks. I don't know. Gonzalez and Witherspoon are both really interesting players. I'm excited to watch their tape. I like Gonzalez, I think. I usually think Witherspoon was better. Now I think it's Gonzalez. Like, I'm back and forth. It's so weird. I mean, this should be obvious to you listeners. They're very likely the top two corners. But if you've read any mock draft, you'll know that. And you know who I'm not interested in? You know who I'm not excited to do this year is DTs.
Oh, God, no.
But
I already hate our number one.
You know what part of it I'm going to love doing?
What?
Is convincing you that even though his workout is shit and his off-fields are questionable, Jalen Carter is so far and away the best DT, it's not close.
I know he's so far and away the best DT.
Yeah, it's sick how good he is.
I'm not drafting Jalen Carter.
I understand. I understand that.
No, I'm not saying that as like a Raider fan. I'm saying that as like if I was a GM, Jalen Carter would not be on my board.
He's on my board. He's sick. He's absolutely sick. He's a game wrecker.
He is. He's also a life wrecker.
He didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
According to the reporting, he was just there.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, in the legal realm, is he an accomplice, accessory, or none of the above? We don't know yet. So nobody seems to know the answer to that question yet.
I wanna really quickly look at our past corner draft because it's like in my head right now.
Oh, last year? Okay.
Yeah. We have Sauce Gardner, Stingley, and then Andrew Booth Jr. You remember him?
I do.
Trent McDuffie went to Kansas City.
Yep.
Kyer Elam, Buffalo, right?
He played okay.
Yeah. Kyler Gordon, I don't remember.
I remember him a little. He was Houston, right?
Okay.
No, he'd go to college at Houston, I think.
No, he was Washington. I'm pretty sure, wasn't he? With McDuffie. It was the pair.
I know there was a pair. I thought McDuffie had another running mate.
No, it was Gordon.
Was it Kyler Gordon? Okay.
And then the one I hated the most, Roger McCreary.
Yeah, and McCreary probably played better than most of those guys this year.
Out of Auburn, Roger McCreary.
Yeah, McCreary played okay. We missed Woolen pretty badly. We didn't go that deep, I guess.
I think the reason we missed Woolen was because
our numbers were getting too high.
Yeah, because I think like last year we had like 18 wide receivers and okay, let's calm down.
Yeah. We did receivers first and we were like, we need to fucking scale this back or we're gonna die.
Yeah, we only did 7 corners. Yeah.
We were getting buried in our own numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely brutal. I'm curious. Do you have a tight end list from last year? Well, actually, I know it was Trey.
I do have the tight end list from last year.
Trey was number one. He was the best one.
Our tight end was Trey McBride.
Yep.
Oh, this is out of order. Werdemeyer was not our 2, apparently.
Who was it? What was he?
I don't know. I don't have that. I remember.
Are you sure it's out of order?
Yeah, I have it written down here, out of order.
Okay.
Cade Otton.
I liked Cade, I think, more than you did.
Yeah. Jeremy Ruckert, I remember hating.
Yeah, you did not like Ruckert. I didn't love him.
Charlie Kolar.
Jake Ferguson, I think, was on there too. I made sure we put him there like at the 11th hour. Like we didn't do much on him, and then we did. It was like, okay, there's something here. He's raw, but there's something here.
Cole Turner.
And sure enough, he played capable ball. I mean, Dulcich will be on there too. He was probably your 2.
And Dulcich was one of my
And he played well, and he played very well. Ferguson had a really good year in Dallas.
Yeah.
Ferguson looked like something. Oh, fuck yeah, I forgot about that. Dallas does have Ferguson.
Okay. We had Ferguson as a 4th-round pick.
He played a little bit better. He did play a little better than that. I'm sorry to say, Eagles fans, he did play.
Although I am reading our notes, we did like Werdemeyer. If he wasn't our 2,
we did. No, there was something wrong. I forget what ended up happening, but the wins just seemed to change on Jalen like within a week. There was some kind of like workout red flag or interview flag or something going wrong. And I just forget the flag. But if we had known what we knew, I think his on-field production was perfectly fine. I don't think we didn't knock him later because of his on-field. There's just something else going on. So anyway,
he's currently a Colt.
Is he really? Well, glad he's employed. Okay.
Oh God, his 40 was 502.
That would be why he fell.
Yeah. That would be why.
That's a rough go of things. Guys, they're your tight ends.
Yep. Don't run 502.
Yeah, don't do that ever at any position. We'll be back soon.
Very soon.
With offensive linemen. I'm almost finished. And
I'm typing my questions.
Yeah, I've got a few.
I got my interview. I've had recent interview experience.
I've got a few, the Skoronskis and the Paris Johnsons of the world. Love a nice little discussion about the big men, about what they mean to the football team. They mean everything. And we'll have this is my yearly TED Talk. This is my yearly TED Talk.
I'm gonna name the O-line episode the only episode you ever need to listen to.
Listen to this one before you listen to the running back episode.
Oh God,
guys, take care.
Should have done O-line first.
We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.